Salim, and welcome to the Life Review Podcast. I am your host, Indra Ali. I'd like to welcome everyone back in the building. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, and shout out to everybody that's watching us on the playback. Let's get into the intro on this beautiful Sunday, and we get right into the program. All right, welcome back. The Life Review Podcast was created to encourage you to ask yourself 3 questions on a consistent basis. Those questions are, am I fulfilling my purposes? Am I learning my life lessons? Am I overcoming my spiritual blocks? If you need something to kind of tether you onto the spiritual path to make sure you stay steadfast on your path, asking yourself those questions on a continuous basis will encourage you to do so. Every week, I'm broadcasting live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, same channel, same time. Just look up my name, Indra Ali, on YouTube, or you can subscribe to the channel and be notified. We will have this broadcasted on the Apple iTunes and all that good stuff as well on Spotify. So every week, the program is set up into 3 phases. The first phase is I share some information with you for you to meditate on and put it information to get your own revelations. Don't take my word for it or anybody's word for it. If you're a self-master, this path is all about you. So as I share, just meditate on it. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The second part is we do mini consultations. I have people come on live on air with me. If you want to do so, make sure to email us at thelifereviewpodcast@gmail.com, thelifereviewpodcast@gmail.com. Do that as soon as possible so I know that you want to come on live with me. And I used to say, come on, ask a question about something that's personal that's going on in your life. But at this point, I just want to interact with the people. So if you have something you want to share, or you want my opinion about something, or you have something personal going on in your life, make sure to hit us up on the Gmail, and Sunsaray will give you the link so you can join me live on the broadcast. The third phase of the program is quick Q&A. You ask a question in the chat, and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. As always, every week, I have a 1-word topic to discuss. Like I said, some affirmation for you to meditate on and put it information. And today, the topic is rabbit. So when I woke up this AM, and I always meditate or I do a form of scrying. That's my meditation most mornings. And I usually get a clarity on what to present for today's topic as far as the show. And I got one thing, but after I came out of meditation, my spirit told me, look up when the Chinese New Year was. So I looked up Chinese New Year, and it happened to be today. So I felt it was very fitting that we talked about the Chinese New Year, with this year being the year of the rabbit. Now, if you're not familiar with Chinese zodiac, just Google Chinese astrology. You can do this right now. If you're watching this on a playback, you can do it as well. But Chinese astrology actually was my first divination that I fell in love with. It was Chinese astrology, then it was numerology, then it was Jyotish or sidereal astrology. Most people like tropical astrology or Western always vibe with the Jyotish or Vedic astrology. But Chinese astrology, first and foremost, was my first love. So I remember back in the day when I was studying that joint, man, that's when I was really finding out about myself, really doing a lot of self-exploration, finding my tendencies, finding my weaknesses, finding my strengths. You hear me say all the time that one of the most important things is self-awareness. A lot of you know about people on your Facebook. A lot of you know about celebrities. A lot of you know about your partners, your children, et cetera, et cetera. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't know about yourself and what takes you, what moves you, what your triggers, what your Achilles heels are, then you're going to have a very difficult time in this earth realm. I'm at peace with reality because I know myself. I don't need anyone to tell me, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. I know me. I know my motives. I know my intentions. I know myself intimately. If I don't know anything in this world, at least I know me. And once you know yourself, you really know the whole world. As above, so below, as within, so without. So if you know yourself internally, then you'll understand a lot of the external things. So Chinese astrology, when I read about it, it just resonated with me. I was born in the year of the fire dragon. And when I read about the fire dragon, how they have a tendency to blow up, it told me that, hey, you're innately like that. Like, especially when I was younger, if somebody just tested me, like I was on a tail that one way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up in an environment where you had to stand up for yourself, growing up in the south side of Middletown, 14th in Baltimore to be exact. Like, you either got bullied or you defended yourself. I've seen many people that I grew up with, they got punked all the time. And I was, I'm not going to be that person. And I vividly remember my mother and my grandmother, peace and blessings be upon her, telling me, don't start nothing, but if someone starts something with you, you better finish it. Like, I remember that very vividly. And as a child, I lived by that. So being born in the year of the fire dragon, I was naturally just kind of feisty and kind of like, man, I wish a nigga, you know what I mean? I wish you would. You feel me? That's the type of energy and type of time I was on. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that was my natural tendency. So when I came across Chinese astrology and started reading about the fire dragon, I was like, man, that makes a lot of sense. It described me to a T. Now, I want to say this. I'm not a proponent of being married to any astrological sign or any astrological system. You see a lot of people, they'll be like, man, I don't like Taurus. I don't like Scorpios. They're this way or another. No sign is going to fit the description that that sign or the characteristics entail. But by default, most people that do not work on themselves usually fall victim to the weaknesses and the strengths of their zodiacal sign. So I was no different at the time. I told anybody, if you worked on yourself, if you have achieved a certain level of self-mastery, then you're not going to be your quote unquote zodiac sign. Like, I was born in Western astrology, I'm a Capricorn. In Vedic astrology, I'm a Sagittarius. In Chinese astrology, I'm a fire dragon. In numerology, I'm a life path 11. But if you were to ask, if you knew me, like knew me intimately, I may exhibit those characteristics, but by no means can you tell me that I'm a Capricorn, I act Capricornian. You feel me? Because I'm all the signs because I've worked on myself. I'm not saying I'm the only one. I'm just using myself as an example. If you worked on yourself, then you're not going to be quote unquote just your zodiacal sign or whatever. So make sure not to pigeonhole yourself and not to pigeonhole other people saying, oh, they're just like that because they're a Sagittarius and stuff like that. If that person's worked on themselves, they can tap into any energy. You know, if you've really a self-master, if you really worked on yourself, then you can be a Taurus in certain environments, or you can be a Cancer in certain environments. You can tap into whatever the hell you need to tap into to get the achievements or the results that you need to get into. You feel me? So I want to say that before I even get into this thing as far as the Chinese year of the rabbit. So when I reflected on what really helped me learn about myself, is more so accepting parts of myself. Because at the end of the day, everybody knows about themselves, but you kind of have a tendency not to accept yourself. Like, for instance, you may be a person where you're naturally like kind of laid back, and you may see someone else who's a real go-getter and they're hustle and bustle and moving like this and moving like that. And you be like, man, I want to be like that more. And you kind of get depressed and upset with yourself. That may not be your natural energy. You feel me? You may not naturally be like that. Like, one of the things I'm naturally not like more of a people person or a socialite and stuff like that. I'm very cool with being around a few people or just being by myself. I don't feel the need to always to be around friends, always to be around family, always to be talking to people. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're a person where you look at that, okay, that's a negative, then you'll get into a depressive state. You have to be comfortable with the things that you're naturally built, what your innate characteristics are. So one of the things that divination in the astrology, numerology, Chinese astrology, palmistry, et cetera, one of the things that I want you to look at when you study these things is it's going to give you permission to be comfortable with the things that people may call shadowy or unsavory characteristics about yourself, and more so just accepting it. You don't have to be everything to everyone. And if you're a natural people pleaser, you're naturally going to be like, man, I want to be this, be this to this person, be this to that person. You know, I had the pleasure of speaking to someone during one of my recent consultations, and they made that statement saying like, you know, people expect me to be like this and people expect me to be like that. But after talking to this person, it was very easy to realize that they wanted to do a certain thing that other people may look at them and be like, man, I don't know why you're doing this, because they view them in a certain way. Don't let people pigeonhole you by what they feel like you should be doing. Indeed, I'm talking to the people who go out of their way to please people and they kind of hurt themselves. You're taking care of people, you're looking out for people, but then when you want help, there's nowhere to be found. If you're doing things because you think people expect you to do it, then in my humble opinion, then you need to learn to say no. One of the most powerful words that you can learn on your path, especially when you're a people pleaser, is by saying no. A lot of times you're doing things and it's causing you detriment. Learn to say no. All right. So let's get into this thing. I have 5 things that can help you tap into this year of the rabbit, the Chinese zodiac sign of the rabbit. And once again, don't take this as a gospel. Don't take this as something you should be doing. But if it resonates with you, then start to implement it into your lifestyle. The first, and these are all characteristics of the rabbit to help you tap into the energy of the year of the rabbit. Because unlike the Western astrology and Jyotish, where we have each sign is only for a month long, in Chinese astrology, the sign lasts for a year. That's why we say the year of the dragon, the year of the rabbit, the year of the sheep, etc., etc. So the first thing, and this is in no particular order, but something you can do to help you tap into the energy of this year is to confide to someone you trust. Confide, open up to someone you trust. Now, this doesn't mean go out and tell your deepest, darkest secrets, but say you're a kind of person where you don't open up that much and you want to be more open. Then if you have someone that you trust, and everybody in this life don't have many people you can trust. You feel like you can trust 20 people, you're lying to yourself. You feel me? You may have 1, 2, or maybe 3 people you genuinely can trust. Whoever pops up into your mind, start sharing something. Share something with them that you normally don't share with other people. It could be something that you're very insecure about. It could be something you've done in the past that you really are not proud about. You know, like with me as Sansa Ray, I've shared some things that with her that I've never told people. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. It was what it was. But when you have someone you truly can trust, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying trust with your life, but you trust that they're not going to put your secrets on Facebook and share it with the world. Like, confide with them, open up, tell them something about yourself that you normally don't tell people. And that's another way of working on your shadow. The whole thing with shadow work is you're having things that you keep in the dark that you don't reveal to people. So to help you with your shadow work, find someone you trust that you can confide in and tell them something deep about yourself that you typically don't share with others. So that's the first thing you can do. Next, practice politeness. The rabbit alone, probably with the sheep, are some of the most polite and genuine people that you will ever meet on the planet. They're some of the sweetest souls on the planet. So if you want to practice politeness, and I'm not going to define politeness for you, whatever you think of polite, it could be saying thank you. It could be opening the door for elderly people. It could be complimenting somebody. Whatever you think is polite, start to do that on a continuous basis. Do it once a day. Like, say, for instance, you look at politeness, you'd be like, man, politeness is saying thank you. I'm just going to use a dumb, corny, simple example. When you get something from someone and you normally don't say thank you, make sure to say thank you. I appreciate that. And really mean it. The more you practice that, you're naturally going to do it. You feel me? Just like if you grew up in a household where your parents always drilled in you to say polite, please, thank you, yes, ma'am, you naturally do that when you get older because it was beaten to you when you were younger. And I'm not saying that in a negative sense. I'm just saying they drilled it in you. So when you get older, you're naturally like that. Thank you, yes, ma'am. You can tell who was raised with quote unquote manners. You know what I'm saying? Because they still exhibit that when they get older. So practice politeness, whatever that looks like to you. Start to do that on an everyday basis, at least one thing. Don't try to do 20 million things. Just pick one thing that you consider polite and start to practice that as much as possible. Next, The rabbit is very artistic. They're some of the most artistic people. And when I say arts, I'm talking about dance, literature, drawing, painting, wearing their clothes, which is a form of art. Your body, a canvas, when you put clothes on it, that's like putting art to it. You feel me? So the third thing is be more artistic. Find a way to express your artistic self. It can even be going to the movies or going to a museum or going to a movie. So practice some way of having more art in your life. It could be buying more art. You know what I'm saying? Supporting starving artists and copying their art on the internet. So be more artistic is the third thing. Fourth, improve your diet. One of the quote unquote negative things about a rabbit is they can go hard body as far as eating the wrong things too much or not eating that much at all. I know rabbits that fall under both spectrums. They eat too much of so-called negative or bad things, and they don't eat that much. So improve your diet. And what I mean by that is find something to add to your diet or find something to take away from your diet. Say you don't drink that much water. Start drinking 8 glasses of water. The one thing, and practice it on an everyday basis. Say you know that sugar doesn't rest well with you. Start to supplement sugar for maybe like stevia or something like that, or start and use honey as a sweetener. Start cutting something out, one thing, or adding one thing to your diet. So improve your diet in one way, shape, or form is the fourth way of tapping into this year of the rabbit. And lastly, and this may be the hardest one, this may be the hardest one, make peace with someone. Make peace with someone. Someone you feel done you dirty in the past, someone that you feel like you've done wrong to. Make peace with them. Like you don't even have to talk to them. You can just make peace in your heart. Like I know when I was learning the lesson of forgiveness, and I've shared this story before, but I'll make it quick and share it again. There was a situation where we lived by a gentleman next door. We had a duplex and we lived right directly next door to dude. And long story short, I happened to be out of town. And he threw a rock through our window and he sliced the tires of our car. And when I got back, you know what I mean? As a man, I didn't check him, but I was like, hey, bro, you don't have to take care of that. And I remember dude piped up like, man, it is what it is. You get it how you live. And he just started piping up all crazy. He had his homeboy with him and he just started showing off and stuff like that. I just looked at him like, bro, you sliced tires and you threw a rock through the window and no offense, that's a female move. Like you supposed to be a dude, you bitty bopping around town like you Tupac, you know what I'm saying? But you're doing something very feminine in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? But he kind of like was like, I ain't gonna do nothing about it. So at the time I was conscious, but I was still kind of like, you know what I mean? Kind of rugged and kind of like, kind of rowdy about it. You're like, okay, it's like that. Okay, I'm gonna see you. You know what I mean? Like that. So longer story short, man, I was, you know, at that time I was disrespecting him. I started clowning on him every time I see him. I was calling him out of his name, just wilding on him, waiting for him to pipe up. So one day he was like, man, what? You want to fight? And I was like, what do you want to do? So I remember I put my phone down and stuff, and we was walking around back, and he pulled out some pepper spray and sprayed me, just pepper sprayed me. And I've never been pepper sprayed before, man. That joint was mad hurtful. So I remember running back in the crib like, man, like all messed up. The Wiz came home and she was bugging out like, oh man, he pepper spraying and stuff like that. So after that, man, I was like, man, like I'm not gonna hold you. I like really wanted to hurt dude like that one way. I don't want to say what I wanted to do on air, but remember this was the past. I don't feel this way now, but I wanted to hurt dude that one way. I'm like, I'm a black man in the world. I've never been pepper sprayed by a cop, but I get pepper sprayed by someone that looked just like me. So it was mad hurtful after he did that sucker stuff. You feel me? So I remember I used to think about this dude and I started shaking uncontrollably. That's how much anger I had. My heart started pounding. Every time I thought about him, I just started shaking and I just started getting very angry. And I remember the spirit told me, you need to forgive him because you're not forgiving him for what he did. But if you forgive him, then you're forgiving yourself for the anger and the violence that you want to commit to this dude. So I remember sitting in that duplex and, you know, I mean, I might have been damn near in tears, man. But I remember sitting there and I was like, man, I forgive him. Like, I truly forgive. I just let it go in my heart. And I just remember this weight just fell off me. I was like, I don't want to put hurt. I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to kill him. I don't want to do anything. I just want to make peace with myself, because I can't have another man make me feel this way, where I want to put hands on him like that one way and do something I may regret. So I remember sitting in that duplex and just forgiving him from my heart, just forgiving him. Less than a week later, to make this story mad short, less than a week later, by a weird circumstance, I end up being in the same place at the same time with this dude. And I literally looked over and I seen him, and I walked over to him, and he started talking. I was like, shut the hell up. I was like, shut up. I was kind of abrasive. He started talking, hey, man. So I was like, shut up. I said, I forgive you. I said, I forgive you, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I said. He tried to say, I was like, bro, I just forgive you. And I walked away. He didn't apologize, but I forgave him. And I remember the Spirit told me I learned the lesson of forgiveness. I had another situation that involved a former business partner that was kind of the same thing, where I wanted to put hands on him, that I ended up forgiving. But those two people became very valuable teachers as far as forgiveness. I made peace with them. Therefore, I made peace with myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm sharing something that's very real. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that, grew up in a neighborhood that come from a certain code that you're not supposed to let another man put his hands on you and not handle that, then this is a big moment. Now, if you grew up in an environment where this sounds, that's stupid, that's child's play, then you don't know what it is. But to forgive someone who physically harmed you and they didn't say, I'm sorry, that shows growth. And I made peace with them. So I'm sure you may not even have something that deep. Make sure to make peace with someone that you feel that harmed you. It could be a mother, it could be a father, it could be a friend, it can be a sibling, whoever. Find a way to make peace with them, because once you make peace with them, you're really making peace with yourself. That's a jewel, y'all. So once again, and shout out to Jazz the Medium. She putting them joints in the comments. Number one, to tap into the year of the rabbit. If you're tuning in late, this today begins the year of the Chinese rabbit. Confide to someone you trust. Tell them a secret or something about yourself that you typically don't share with others. Practice politeness. Be more artistic. Improve your diet, either adding something to your diet or taking it away. And make peace with someone. You might have came into my long story talking about forgiving someone, but make peace with someone. When you forgive someone, you're actually forgiving yourself. All right. So that is it for today's topic. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you got something you can take away from it. In the comment section, let me know if that resonates with you and you can implement something that I shared, some affirmation that you can meditate on and put in information. Put in the comments. I want to look at that, see what y'all feeling. And shout out to everybody that's come through. Make sure to email us at thelifereviewpodcast@gmail.com if you want to come on and be a guest and speak to me live in the flesh. If you tuned in any of the broadcasts, I don't bite. You feel me? Like I said, a lot of time, y'all a bunch of spook boos not coming on holler at me. If you can't holler at me, you can't holler at none of these corny people out here in these spiritual streets. Real quick before I take my break, I do want to make sure that if you didn't know, the first event of 2023 is already set. April 29th, I'm taking a small group. I'm hoping it's more of a small, intimate group to 3 of the sacred places in Ohio. The Serpent Mound, the Miamisburg Mound, and Fort Ancient. We're going to do 2 rituals at 2 of the mounds to tap into each mound's energy. Like I shared with you last week, every earth mound has a particular energy to it. You have the ability to tap in, do you know the energy? I've ascertained the energy of 2 of the mounds that's close to where I live, the Serpent Mound and the Miamisburg Mound. One has healing energy, and one has the energy of consciousness. We're going to do a group ritual to tap into each one. We're going to break bread, go to restaurants, eat together, chop it up. It's going to be a beautiful time. There's a VIP where you can get chauffeured. You know what I mean? I'm going to rent a passenger van, 12-seat passenger van. So if you want to join, make sure to do that ASAP as far as VIP, because we only have 4 spots remaining. Like I told y'all, my events sell out humbly. You know what I'm saying? every time I put something out, it sells out. So if you want to be a part of it, this historical event, make sure to go to IndraAli.com and click on Earth Mound Tour, and you can register. If you're an accelerator member, scroll to the bottom. There's a special discount. But if you want to do the VIP, not the general, if you want to do a VIP, make sure to do that as soon as possible. Like I said, we only got 4 spots remaining for that. All right. Okay, Waking Beauty. She said she registered VIP, or he or she said they registered VIP. So I look forward to meeting you. So that's it for the announcements for now. I'm gonna take a break. When we come back, I'll see if anybody want to speak to me live one-on-one, and I'll be back in one momento. All right, Indra Ali back in the building, the Life Review Podcast. Remember, I broadcast every Sunday live on YouTube at 11 a.m. Eastern. We do have somebody that want to come on and holler at me. If you want to come and holler at me as well, make sure to email us at the Life Review Podcast at gmail.com. Also, don't forget Earth Mounds Tour, IndraAli.com. Click on Earth Mounds Tour. So let me bring on this person. Jess, you are live on the broadcast. Welcome.
Hi, Ali. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Hi. It's me again, Jess.
Okay, what up? Oh, what up, Jessica? I was like, Jess. Okay, I know you as Jessica, but if you want to be called Jess today, that's what we doing around here.
I try to sound. Yes, I'm definitely excited about the Year of the Rabbit. I actually was born in the Year of the Rabbit. I believe I was born 1987, so I believe that the Year of the Rabbit is 1987 for the years.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this year. And I've already started the tips that you gave. I've already done that, so I feel like I'm like on track with that.
Sweet.
My question is, on my spiritual journey, I feel like I've hit a roadblock where initially when I first started, I learned so much by, following, reading and seeing videos of you and many others. And it gave me the confidence to just do my own thing, where I was like, okay, I'm a freestyle spiritualist. I do this. I work with these this is what I do. I didn't see myself in a particular, domain like Buddhism or this and that. I had all attributes of it because I knew I was just a person who actually benefited from all of the sciences, the spiritual sciences that I learned. And then I got insecure, and then all of a sudden I started getting more into Ifa. And then when I got into Ifa, I feel like it helped me, and it still does because I still use the attributes of Ifa to help me. But now I'm at a place where I don't feel as confident anymore. I feel like my spiritual foundation, because I've relied too much on just one system. I feel like I've lost my way where I don't even feel confident about doing my own rituals. I don't feel confident about, doing my own spells, or doing my own chants, doing my own. I feel like because I decided to, study Ifa, or just, get initiated. And in the system itself, when I looked at it, ideally, when you get initiated, to Ifa, like get your hand of Ifa, you become a child of someone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay, before I was a leader, I was never anyone's child. Now I'm in a place where I'm like, I lost that. Now I became reliant on, someone who's supposed to be my godfather, and I feel like I gave my power away. So ever since that, I feel like I don't feel like myself. I don't feel confident. My dreams are crazy. And I know it's because I'm going through like a hormonal imbalance. I've done some stuff to myself that's affected my mental health. So it's just been a multitude of things that I've just had an epiphany about. But I definitely know the aspect of feeling like I lost my spiritual foundation because I gave that power away is what I really feel like I need help with, trying to gain that confidence again of like, okay, you're deciding to not necessarily practice Ifa in the traditional sense, but still have the attributes of it. But now, where do you go from here? Like, where do you go after this experience?
Okay. I'm guided to share something with you. I want you to write this down, okay?
Okay.
Um, all right, prepare yourself a bath, and look up any kind of spiritual bath, cleansing spiritual bath. And what I want you to do is use sea salt, some flowers, whatever flowers that resonate with you,
Mm-hmm.
and some crystals, whatever crystals that resonate with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, prepare the bath, and then say some affirmations over the bath as it's running, saying this will cleanse me, this will protect me, this will heal me, just whatever comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
All right, as a freestyle spiritual, I'm not going to tell you to write a script and do it this way, just whatever comes to your mind.
Yeah.
Play the Anabacoic or the Miracle Prayer. Look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Play that and sit in that bathtub and just sit and try just to relax.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing I recommend. Second thing is, what do you feel most confident about on your spiritual path right now? What when I say what are you most confident about, what comes to mind? Don't overthink it.
Manifesting what I want.
That's what comes to mind.
Yeah.
So what I recommend is that you just focus on that. Don't focus on EFI. Don't focus on altar. Don't focus on nothing. Focus only on what you manifest. Because when you're feeling, the thing with confidence is you have to do something that makes you feel confident.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell a dog to scale a building, he's not going to be confident. But if you tell a dog to wag his tail, he can do that all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you do what the stuff that you know you can do, it's going to naturally make you more confident. And once you get back into your confidence, to your God body self, I'm not saying you left it, but you kind of lost sense of it. Once you do, then you can start adding on the other things that you were participating in or start doing new things.
Yeah.
So I recommend you do the bath just to center yourself, ground yourself. For as corny as it sounds, just take a little spiritual bath, chill for a little bit. And then start to do stuff that makes you feel confident. You said it was manifesting. That's all I would focus on. I wouldn't look at numerology. I wouldn't look at nothing. I would just focus on manifestation.
Yeah.
Start doing that, and then you'll get your confidence back. But you have to take small steps, and those small steps turns to leaps.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I appreciate it. That's definitely good advice.
No doubt, no doubt. You already feel lighter too, so I know that makes sense to you. And you know my email, and I know you. So if you need anything, just hit me up.
I will. Thank you.
Or better yet, come back to the Life Review podcast again. All right. All right, Jessica. Peace. Had the pleasure of meeting her at the Soul Glow Retreat numero 2, I do believe. New York is in the building for sure. All right, so I don't see anyone else. Y'all some spook boos. I want to come holler at your boy. Y'all weird. You know what I'm saying? I'm just start calling y'all names when y'all don't come through. You feel me? I'm gonna get mad childish, just start calling y'all names when y'all don't come through. But let me see who we got in the building and pop some questions up too. And Sunset Ray will highlight whoever question can apply to multiple people. Shout out to Shamel, Kenneth Cooper, Kenny the God in the building. S. Thomas, peace. I've seen you mad times on here. Jazz, see you always in the building. Miss BB, say yeah. I think you was the first person on here. Shout out to you. TT, God is right. I see Ma Dukes in there too. Karen Pipkin, shout out to Ma Dukes. It was nice spending time with you yesterday, even though we was doing some strenuous things. So I appreciate your help. We helped each other out yesterday. That's love. And shout out to my sis, Kalina. Neba, shout out to you. Black in the Day, see you always in the building. Pam, I see you in the building, always sending me emails, replying to my daily wisdom emails. Miss Coco B, shout out to you. Latanya, what's up? Good. Doc, C Diggs, peace. Heather, shout out to you. Appreciate everybody for coming through, man. Love seeing the energy of the people, yo. Love seeing the energy of the people. So let's get some questions, y'all. Let's get some questions popping up. As always, too, if y'all want to come holler at me, the Life Review Podcast at gmail.com. The Life Review Podcast at gmail.com. Otherwise, we'll get some questions. If not, this will be a short episode. I'm not going to just ramble. Y'all know how I get down. I'm going to just start rambling and stuff. Appreciate that, Pam. Appreciate that so much. Oh, also, hey, what up, Saran? And also, too, if you want to work with me, you want to join a community of like-minded souls, make sure to go to spiritualaccelerator.com. Read all the information. If it resonates with you, you can join and become a member today. Beautiful. That's probably the most rewarding thing I've done on the path is starting the accelerator and starting to just. I was sharing with them on the last webcast, just seeing people grow into their own, man. Like shout out to Jazz. She did her first mediumship development class. She's offering it for free for the accelerator members. And we had a Q&A directly afterwards that the people are coming through and just the love and appreciation that it's just beautiful to see. This is someone I've seen on the path or on the path early on her path. And someone in her own words said, I've helped her develop on her spiritual path, on her spiritual journey. And I feel like, I'm not saying I'm sonning her or daughtering her, but I feel like a proud father. You feel me? When I'm seeing people that I knew was at one point and now they're doing something else and seeing them help other people. Even at the retreat, last two retreats, she led a mediumship group or a psychic group circle where she's helping other people tap into their abilities. It's just a beautiful thing to see, man. It really, truly is. It's like when you're a millionaire and you see other people in your community become millionaires. What my man Jay said was better than one billionaire, two, especially when they from the same hue as you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a beautiful thing when I'm serious about this spiritual thing. Anybody know me knows, like, I'm lighthearted and all that stuff, but when you're on your spiritual path, especially early on, you need to be very serious about that. It's only when you get a certain point where you can look back and like kind of relax. And when the Buddha reached enlightenment, he sat back and laughed because he was like, man, I could have tapped in this a long time ago. Once you reach a certain level, you're like, man, I was already here. It was just a certain mindset that I had to unlock or whatever. But seeing people early in their path making that maturation process, man, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, yo. Beautiful thing. So what up? Let me get some questions, y'all. Okay, what would be the best way to address my ancestors? Let me see the answers in the chat, y'all. Anybody that know me know what I'm gonna say. What's the best way to address your ancestors? What's the best way to address your ancestors, y'all? Type it up in the chat box while I sip on my OJ. And I ain't talking about Simpson. Kenneth said, talk to him, altar, ancestor money, altar work, altar. Yeah, I would say altar work, yo. Easiest way to address your ancestors is altar. Just like if I say, what's the easiest way to contact someone? You'd be like, oh, on the phone or email or text. Well, the altar is like a phone in order to communicate with them. You set them altar, excuse me, however you see fit. There's many ways of doing it. Excuse me, but any way you set it up, you give regular offerings, you spend time with them, talk to them, give offerings, etc., etc. That's the easiest way to address them or speak to them. You know what I'm saying? So I would say altar work. If you don't know how to do that, just look up altar work on my YouTube channel. All right. So keep the questions posted. Since we're able to go through and highlight them. I have somebody else that want to come through and holler at me, so I'm gonna bring her on. But like I said, if you still want to ask questions, make sure to put it in the chat box, and Sense Ray will highlight them once I'm done. I'll get back and I don't see no question. It's gonna be a short show, yo. So Natasha, bringing you on. You are live in the building. Welcome.
Hello, welcome. Can you hear me?
Yes, I sure can.
Okay, first, just want to say thank you, Ali. You've been a major mentor in my life, so I appreciate that. But my question is so I know that my spiritual gift is counseling, but
Okay.
sometimes I feel like the human side of me kind of fights against me, like, kind of like in a sense, like, no, I don't really want to do this work or put in this work, but I know that that is my gift. How can I bring, like, what are some things I can do to bring harmony around that situation, or just to, like, I guess, prevent that blockage? You know what I mean?
Okay, when you say the human part, you explain a little bit more when you say the human part of you.
I guess I just mean like the human side of me. I started worrying about, like, oh, am I at the level to be able to counsel, or, like, just my ego
Got you.
starts kicking in with different questions.
Got you. What is something that you've overcome in the past 3 years, or period? What is something you've overcome?
Something I've overcome, a death of my family that was very close to me. I feel like I've overcome the grieving process pretty well through my spirituality.
You feel confident about that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, focus on that. Let that be your specialty.
Okay.
You see how easy that is?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So instead of worrying about and helping people on things that you're still dealing with, because that's what makes you feel like an imposter. What's it called? Imposter syndrome and a
Yeah.
fraud is when you feel like you're helping people with stuff you haven't dealt with yourself.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
constantly get on here and talk my ish because I've done the work. Nobody can take that away from me.
Right.
I can come on here and say it with my chest and grab my thing confidently. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you.
So when you deal with it, when you deal with something that you've already dealt with, then you're going to be confident, and it's going to breed that confidence, and you can help people overcome that. You're talking about something major that a lot of people are dealing with. You've
Okay.
overcome it. There's an
Okay.
audience waiting to hear about it.
Okay. All right.
Life problem solved in 2 minutes.
Right. Very simple.
Make
All right.
sense?
Appreciate that.
No problemo. Peace. All right. All right. So do we have any questions, Sunstory? What are some tips on how someone can make peace with someone that has hurt them deeply? First thing you have to realize, or not the first thing you have to realize, but what I recommend is, what did you learn from that situation? With pain, you have to learn something, or it just feels like pain and punishment. If I like, say for instance, this is a good example. Say you whoop your child, and I'm not condoning whooping. I don't think you should be putting your hands on your child. I'm just making an example. But say that you whoop your child, or let's just say you punish your child. You punish your child, but you tell them, I'm punishing you because you did this. And the consequences for doing this is this. Like, you explain to them, I'm punishing you for this. Then it's not going to hurt as bad. They're going to be like, okay, I see where you're coming from. But if you just punish your child, like, they just walk you like, you look like your daddy. Stop asking me stuff. You know I can't afford it. Don't touch me. You know what I mean? Just start popping off of them for no reason. That's going to hurt them. That's going to scar them. But if you explain to them, I did this because you need to learn this, or it's important that you know about this. So when you learn about something, it doesn't hurt as much. So the first thing I'll recommend is, what did you learn from that person? And then once you find out what you learned from it, it's going to be easier to accept it. So the first part of the acceptance process, in my opinion, is what did you learn from it? It's going to make it a whole lot easier. Because a lot of times we'd be like, man, I didn't deserve that, or they did me like this and I didn't do anything. You feel me? Like you play the victim. With humanity, with a lot of humans, what I notice is they play the victim. Man, this person did this to me, but I didn't deserve it. Or why am I being punished? I don't deserve this. I don't deserve that. Humans play the victim. When you get to a certain God level, you see everything happens for a reason and it was already orchestrated. So you don't look at it as a victim. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what you're saying or that's how you feel, but I'm saying most humans feel like that. They just play the victim. So find out, what did you learn from it? It's going to make the healing process a lot much easier. You know what I'm talking about? All right, we got somebody else that want to come through and holler at me. That's not a spook boo. All right. Oh, okay. This is my dude, Shika.
Yeah,
Shika. What's up, good brother? How you feeling, bro?
I'm all right, man. Grand Rising. It's chilling.
Grand Risings, beloved. Grand Risings, beloved. What's good with you, Brody?
All right. My question is it natural? Like what the person just asked last time, like, is it natural to not care about what somebody did? Because like I'm usually like just nonchalant about everything, and I really don't have any problems with people, but like I just don't got no feelings towards anything. So I don't know if that's like robotic or natural, or is that a bad thing?
Okay, I know we're just using human words and human languages, but nothing's purely good or bad. I know you know that. I just have to articulate it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to like, what's the last movie you seen, bro?
The last movie I seen was I want to say Woman King, the last actual movie.
Woman King. Did you go to the movies this year, or did you watch a bootleg or watch it on TV? Like, how you watch it?
Caught a little bootleg.
Caught a little bootleg. How did I know that? So you watched the joint, and after the movie, was you moved by it? Was you sad? Was you wanting to hurt somebody? Was you mad? Did you want to go on Facebook and tell people about themselves? Like anything like that?
I just felt like it was what it was. Like I liked the movie, but I just like the message. I ain't feel no type of way afterwards.
You notice how movies have a point where it makes it feel real,
mm-hmm.
but once you stop watching a movie, you realize it was a movie, just similar to a dream.
Right.
It's because this reality is like a movie and like a dream. So those who have the ability to view it as such, that honestly shows a lot of spiritual maturity, and it shows that you're an advanced soul. When you can deal with this reality and be like, okay, say you had an abusive father, and you'd be like, you know what? That just happened to me. That doesn't make me who I am. That my father was going through his own things. He was just a character in the movie.
Right.
You view it as such. Because once you leave the body or transition or die, you don't look back and you don't realize this was a damn flick.
Exactly. An illusion.
And it was an illusion. That's what a movie is. A movie is based off lights. Those objects aren't real. It's just lights being projected on the screen, making it seem real. That's the same thing with this holographic reality. We have avatars in this hologram that we call Earth and being projected like it's real, but in true reality, it's not real, because once we leave the body, that is real.
Right, the dream world.
On my opinion, you're seeing this as the way it's supposed to be. I'm view it the same way. I don't take none of this ish to heart, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing good, bad. I'm not. Oh, I'm my children. This, that, the other. Like, I brought you in this world. I took you. My ego ain't in it. This is an illusion.
Exactly. Like I got a story though. I don't know if you got.
Go ahead, bro.
Try to make it quick.
Ain't nobody else trying to holler at me, bro. I'm gonna holler at you.
All right. So my mama, her and my dad, like when I grew up, they was like always arguing, and there was like 7 of us, and she ended up leaving. She just left us, and my dad ended up going to prison, and my grandma just had to adopt us, but my mama ended up leaving. I mean, she ended up moving to Washington State, like Seattle, and like I talk to her every day, and like I said, like I don't hold no grudge towards her. Like I feel like she did what she had to do.
Yeah, that shows a level of understanding, bro. That's seeing things from a God's eye view, in my opinion, bro.
Right. I just ain't know if that shit was natural or not.
Yes, I mean it's not natural because most humans don't do it, but it's natural as far as a soul level. Think about it like this, bro. Let's just say that there was a so-called God, whatever that means to you. How could his God view reality? How could his God see slavery happen, racism happen, childs getting molested, children dying, people starving? How? If
Right.
this loving God was so loving and can do anything, why would his God view reality like that? How? The same way that we view children starving in movies, same way we see a movie and see people getting abused because it's not real.
Right.
That's why. That's a high, you can't convince nobody. I can use all the analogies and all the fly language and all the reference. If you don't see it that way, there's nothing I can do to talk you into that way. But I truly, truly know in my heart that's the way reality is. I'm not trying to convince anyone from what you're saying. I'm just talking. We're just having choir rehearsal, bro. Just preaching to the choir. Ain't trying to convince nobody else to see it that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So don't try to convince other people, be empathetic and sympathetic that they may not be at that quote unquote level. I'm not saying you're better or worse, but they may not be at the point where they see it that way. Right. You gotta let humans be human. This is the way you gotta let children be children. Children make mistakes. Humans make mistakes. Gods create. You know what I mean? Humans vent, gods invent. You feel me?
Exactly. I got you.
So let humans and children do their thing. Play with toys.
You
heard me?
I heard you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, bro. Be easy. All right. Any other questions, babe? Okay. Got to answer Waking Beauty. I'm about to see her in April. I dreamed that my deceased father was in my dream. I had an armful of money and I gave him some insight. Not sure. Without more context, I'm not sure. I'm dreamed that my deceased father was in my dream and I had an armful of money and I gave him some insight. Because if you've been doing altar work and you've given him an offering, that could be a confirmation that he received it. It could mean that you're about to come into an influx of money. It could mean that you need to be more giving and donate and be more charitable. It really depends on the context. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what you did before and after. I'm not sure. But that's prompted me, and I'll share this real quick. Yesterday with Mom Deuce, we had to go to Cincinnati and do some things for my aunt, my mom's sister or whatever and whatnot. And I happen to wear, peace and blessing be upon him, my best friend in his lifetime, Jeremy Trent. He transitioned some years ago and his mother gave me his Ohio State jacket. And I happened to wear it yesterday. I really don't wear it that much. I've had it for years. I probably wore it a handful of times. But yesterday I wore it and wore it to Cincinnati, and I just wore it yesterday. I'm looking at it right now. And last night I had a dream, and he was heavily prevalent in my dream. You know, the dream doesn't matter, but he was in a dream, and in a dream he's already transitioned. So it wasn't like it was one of those dreams where it was a subconscious residue and I was just having a random dream. In the dream, he was already have transitioned. He was presenting himself as himself, if that makes any sense. So when I woke up today and I reflected at when I was doing either before I was doing my meditation or during, I reflected on the situation, him being in my dream, and it was more of I've had other dreams with him, and this one just felt a little bit different. But long story short, I remembered that I wore his jacket yesterday. So it's funny when you have items around you that a person either had while they were living, or you sit and think about a person, then they can appear in your dream. That was a perfect example yesterday. I had a dream of my best friend, and I happened to wear his jacket the day before or whatever. I found that real cute, and always show love to my boy, man. That was my dog. All right. Any other questions? All right. What are you talking about, Brooklyn? Does the spiritual work put in ever diminish? I should have read that before. I don't even know what you mean, bro. Does the spiritual work put it? Okay, absolutely not, bro. Whatever you put in gets put in a pocket of space called the ethers or the subconscious mind. That can never be erased. So whatever you do, even on a human level, because at the end of the day, everything you do is spiritual because you're a spiritual being having a human experience. You know, everybody know that corny little cliche, but it's real. So everything that you do, it can't be diminished. It can't dissipate. You can forget about it. Excuse me. It could be a thing of the past, but to say whatever you did just gets erased, no, it doesn't. It gets put into the ethers, the Akashic, and or the subconscious mind or the unconscious mind, for real, for real. So no, it doesn't get diminished. All right. So I'm gonna call it a show right there, y'all. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Make sure to come through next Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel. Remember, if you want to support the show, go to l9shop.com. That's EL, the number 9shop.com. Me and the Wiz Sons of Ray, we make a lot of spiritual items. We also carry ancestor money. It's a way to support us and also support yourself by copying things for your spiritual path. If you want to join me in a community of like-minded souls, make sure to go to spiritualaccelerator.com. Read all the information. If it resonates with you, make sure to join as soon as possible. And also, if you want to be, if you want to join me for my first Ohio Earth Mounds tour, I'm not sure if I do another one, but I'm definitely doing a one in April. Like I said, we only have 4 VIP spots remaining. Depending on what happens, I may rent another utility van, but right now I'm just doing the one. But if you want to be a part of history and join us on the Earth Mound tour, tap into the energy of the Earth Mound. We got some. We have the second largest conical mound in the U.S. at Miamisburg, and we had the largest effigy mound at Serpent's Mound. That's in Ohio, in my home state. Monumental event. If you want to be a part of history, make sure to go to indraali.com, click on Earth Mounds Tours. You can join us there. Shout out to everybody for coming through. Shout out to Sons of Ray for moderating this thing. Shout out to my other moderators. Shout out to the Accelerator members. Shout out to everyone I will see in April. Shout out to everybody that's watching us on the playback. This has been Indra Ali for the Life Review Podcast. See you next week. Peace.